Hi. Before we move on to discussing the three Vartakas to uh, our last sutra, 6179, Vanto Yi Pratyaye, I have some further thoughts about the two preceding sutras, 6177, Ikoyenachi, and 6178, Echo Yav Ayavaha. And this came about because as I was thinking about these Vartakas and what to present and how to present them, the thought came to me to look back at my original notes from Prabhakara Shastri, where this all began, because although I have distilled most of the information in subsequent notes, there are often certain particular details that, for whatever reason, I did not include in earlier conversations about the grammar. So, and indeed, there were some concepts that Prabhakara Shastri emphasized in his discussion of Ikoyenachi and Echo Yavayavaha. And I thought that was important to add. Now, current commentators and even Bhattochi Dikshita don't make a point of this, but that may, at least in some cases, be because it was to them self-evident. However, not so much for us, and I think these are important points. So, what am I talking about? Ikoyenachi, as you may remember, is fundamentally about ik, and Echo Yavayavaha is about H. And we covered the ground pretty well, I think. But there was one element of this that I didn't specifically address, and that is the function of two sutras we know about. 119, Tulyasya Prayatnam Savarnam. Tulyasya Prayatnam Savarnam. Those with the same place and effort of articulation are called Savarna. And then crucially, the Grihanyaka Sutra 1169, Anudit Savarnasya Cha Pratyayaha. Anudit Savarnasya Cha Pratyayaha. So for un and udits, the savarnas are included. For uns and udits, the savarnas are included. So I un relokeyong ayau chayavarat lan. Ik and H definitely constitute uns. And so the thing that we have not emphasized is that if we say Ikoyenachi involves substitutions of I, U, R, L, it is very significant to clarify that that means substitutions of all forms of these letters, and also for A, I, O, Ow. So what does that mean? Again, going back to the Akshara Samamnaya that we discussed at length initially, E is another way of saying E, E, E. In other words, E is another way of saying Hrasva Dirgha Pluta E. And this goes for all of the letters, although not all of them have Hrasva, not all of them have Pluta, but, or Dirgha. So that is the key thing. Ikoyenachi doesn't just apply to Hrasva, I, U, R, L. Neither does H apply to A, O, I, Ow. These letters don't have hrasvas, but they do have pluta forms. So all of these are included. And in thinking about ikoyonanchi and ho yavayavaha, where does this matter? Well, we have more than once discussed the existence of the sutra 6.1.125, Pluta pragrhya achinityam. Pluta pragrhya achinityam. So plutas and pragrhyas, when followed by a vowel, stay the same. Otherwise said, no sandhi. Pluta pragrhya achinityam. Now, again, I think sophisticated commentators and so on may have thought pointing this out as redundant, but I think it's not redundant, and certainly it's a way of our keeping in mind some of what we already know, such as what forms do we know are pragrhya? Well, 1.1.11, idu de dvivachanam pragrhyam. Idu de dvivachanam pragrhyam. Dirgha, I, U, and A in the dvivachana are pragrhya. Dirgha, I, U, A in the dvivachana number get the name pragrhya, and then therefore by pluta pragrhya achinityam. So, for instance, we have the example from before, hari etau, hari etau. And the relevance of this is that dirgha I is part of ik. So by ikoyanachi, there should be sandhi when vowel follows it, say a. But that doesn't come here because this particular I of ik is pragrhya by idu de dvivachanam pragrhya. Likewise, adasomat, 1.1.12, adasomat. So when follows the when a vowel follows, an ach follows the pertaining to a das, there is no sandhi. So ami ishaha, again, remains as it is. Then we talked about the Vedic she, 1.1.13, asme indra, Again, ho yavayavaha, a followed by e, no sandhi. Nipate kajanang, we talked about quite a lot. So, indraha, brahaspati, indraha is Vedic, and that's not relevant here, but that's a single letter. E is a single letter nipata, which is not ang. And then eva manyase, eva manyase. Now is dirgha but it is not ang, as we discussed in length. It does not fall into one of the four categories of which gives it the name ang. So it is also a single letter nipata, and it is pragrhya. And then there's ot, aho, ishaha, o ending, aho, ishaha. So there are a few more, but you get the picture. So that is the main thing I wanted to point out, that there are these exceptions, and that's not even akasavarne dirgha, which we did mention, and that will come later.